JLT is known in Dubai for its residential community, many small businesses, restaurant choices and amenities, but its free zone, Dubai Multi-Commodity Centre or DMCC, is the largest in the world. Its chairman, Ahmed bin Sulayem, explains how that has been achieved, what has been done to maintain the status and what the future holds. Welcome to Dubai Works, a business podcast about the innovators, the products, the services and trending topics. Loving Dubai's take on the business stories that matter. My name is Richard Fitzgerald. I'm the founder of Augustus Media, publishers of Lovin Dubai, Lovin Saudi and Smashy TV. Each week we'll be interviewing the dynamic business leaders of Dubai. Good morning, Ahmed.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming on the Dubai Works Business Podcast.
Pleasure.
I'm looking at a stunning view at Al Mas Tower. What's the significance of where we are?
This is an initiative that to many people, to many of the critics and people who saw this, shouldn't have worked out. It's an impossible initiative. A lot of His Highness projects in the 90s and early 2000s seemed too dreamy and not plausible. And you know, it's a community that represents over 16,000 businesses.
So when it started off, it was mainly out of this tower, and it was a Dubai Multi-Commodity Centre. So you're looking to create a new kind of business trading environment. It's a free zone, and it all grew from there. The companies got attracted to it. You introduced different sorts of regulation and things like that. Is that how it happened?
Well, my assumptions in the early days was the gold trade and diamond trade has been happening for centuries now, and things would be established and standardized by then. I was so wrong. There was so much work to be done with the custom regulations here. We did some work with the central bank. We introduced the currency pairs on the gold and commodities exchange. Our strategy was just to look at what the gaps are in the industry and fill it up. And that's the mindset we had. We needed to talk talk with the key players in the industry. And not all of these centers are really willing to share their know-hows and all that. And you need to really dig into the messages and all that, and sometimes challenge things as well.
So just explain for the
yes.
listeners, the commodity DMCC, you can get licenses and you can set up here, but also you have to support the infrastructure around certain commodities, and you've many to choose from. What would kind of go in that sort of decision making?
With regards to the infrastructure, initial plans was for DMCC to be in one or two buildings in Jumeirah Lakes Towers. The government then decided to include the whole Jumeirah Lakes Towers as part of the free zone, just not to lose opportunity of businesses trying to move in and set up here. JLT itself is a big asset to us as well. It plays a big role in that. We would not be building the development itself had we not needed it. It's easy to say that Dubai has a lot of offices. Why are you expanding? Why would we build one JLT, for example? We just built that recently, and you know, if you look at the last 6 or 7 years, there hasn't been a story where Dubai has run out of offices. There's a shortage, but to say that there's too many offices, DMCC doesn't need to expand, is the same way of saying there are too many universities in the US, Harvard does not need to expand. There's a demand here, it's not the same.
Okay, so interesting, you know, Dubai is all about creating things that haven't existed before, whether it's tourism markets, whether it's different sorts of services, growing the economy. Before DMCC, there wasn't a diamond trade in the UAE, in Dubai, and now it's one of the largest in the world.
Yes.
How is that possible in 15 years or so? Like,
it was a bit less than 15 years. We've been maintaining it for the past few years now.
But many other places in the world would love to achieve that. We discussed beforehand about the competitiveness of commodities being traded elsewhere. How do you think you've been able to achieve this and many other things in such a short space of time?
We never settled on achievements. Every time we attract some business, we go for the next, and we keep promoting. We never felt full. We kept hungry. We kept pushing.
But yeah, so you also you're well known with other commodities as well, such as tea and more recently coffee. How is Dubai, which doesn't produce those commodities, established such a kind of stronghold in this area, and particularly DMCC?
In 2004, we looked to establish the Dubai Global Tea Forum. We talked about it. We made plans to create a tea trading center, storage facility, packaging, etc. But it was very small. It was in Jebel Ali port at that time. With the Global Tea Forum, we were confident that it would work. It would bring the biggest consumers and the biggest producers. We felt the reason they would be happy to come to Dubai, because Dubai is at that time irrelevant in the tea industry. They wouldn't feel that they would be giving, they would be supporting their competition or etc. And it worked out. It was an interesting conference, and every 2 years we'd have one. The tea center expanded to Jafza South, and Dubai today represents 60% of the world tea re-export. 60% of world tea is re-exported via Dubai, and for the past few years. I think one of the key reasons that the tea industry really worked out here well for us, and subsequently now the coffee, is simply because of the strong infrastructure that the UAE has and Dubai has with DP World. I guarantee you, if the airport, Emirates Airline and DP World did not exist, you wouldn't see DMCC here. If the shipping and logistics were weak here, this wouldn't be considered at all.
Interesting. So it's all connected. Interesting. And you mentioned a few times the coffee center.
Yes.
Can you explain what that is, and what are the plans?
Well, the coffee center is to serve the whole industry, is to attract coffees from the Far East and the Far West, Latin America and Africa. When we were studying the business, we were told that you won't get any of the Latin coffees because of the logistics challenges. They would just focus to the US. We got advice like that. That was all completely untrue. It was all, let's say they were misinformed. I'm not lying. But for Latin America and Mexico, given the changes in politics for the past year with the new election, etc., and including Canada as well with their hard and soft lumber, they're looking to not put their eggs all in one basket, the US market. They're looking to diversify. We're also targeting American companies as well. For us, we need to be servicing the whole the market. So Dubai is a hub similar to Hong Kong and Singapore. And if I'm benchmarking DMCC, I'm benchmarking it with these markets, and Rotterdam as well. I think there's a lot more we could do with coffee. Today, the coffee center there are some similarities with our tea center, where you have blending facility, packaging facility, a training facility as well, and the lab. So there's a tea lab and coffee lab. We certify the coffees, we certify the tea. The difference, some slight differences, obviously, with the machinery and all that, and the roasting facility that we have in the coffee business. It's a very exciting time for us. We're looking also probably in the next few months. I'm hoping we do it this year, if not early next year, because I want to do it right. I don't have a target. I'm not going to put a deadline on myself for that. I just want to do it right. We would love to add a coffee future contract on the Gold and Commodities Exchange. We've been advised not to copy and paste the contracts in the US, simply because a while back, I'm not sure when exactly, the Colombian farmers had to burn their crops, their coffee farms. Reason being, the farms get exhausted, you'll need to reset the whole process. But when you do that, obviously the supply goes down. The expectations was the value would go up in the exchange. It didn't change, which indicated to the coffee industry that these contracts are not reflective of the market. So there needs to be something done with that. We're working on that. We're working on this and keeping that in our mind.
Interesting. So I just thought of something that you spoke about before. So just go back to that. when you brought Kobe Bryant here in 2013, did that impact on the amount of hits on your website from LA region, and what was that? What was behind that? Is it passion for
During
basketball?
those days, Facebook was still relevant. I don't think Instagram existed yet. Instagram was more private. I don't know. I am such a Lakers fan that I was not in Dubai when Kobe was here. I was here, but I was not here, if you will. Like, it was too dreamy. It was impossible.
Right.
I didn't know Kobe would come. It was this whole thing started with me bashing a Kobe hater who's a friend of mine, and we're just arguing and comparing stats, etc. So to which I said, "Well, did Jordan ever get a full-page ad by anyone?" He's like, "No." All right, I hang up. A week or two later, my friend calls me, "You're mad." He saw the full-page ad on LA Times and calling Kobe Bryant greatest of all time. You know, after he got his injury, you know, he'd be back, etc. The headline was Carpe Diem.
Oh, wow.
And then I think, at first I thought the LA Times wouldn't accept it for some reason. You know, I don't know. They were happy with it. And then I was introduced to some friends, some guys. I haven't met them before, but they're friends now. And I'll introduce you to them later. They're in DMCC today. They have a company here.
Cool.
And apparently they've been trying to bring Kobe Bryant for a few years and it wouldn't work out. So someone said, if you want to bring him, that's your guy. I don't know why they felt I'm their guy. I was a bit worried about that whole thing because I was worried that the government would see that I'm using my position for my personal interest and all that. Yeah. And what I did was, look, guys, this is too sensitive for me. I'll introduce you to the team. If it clicks, it clicks. It doesn't. I was expecting it not to happen. So Malcolm was our CEO at that time, and they're like, "Yeah, we've sorted it out." I asked him how. What incentive would it be for DMCC? Oh, he'd be setting up his company in DMCC. I'm like, good. That's good PR.
Very smart.
And
you actually gave him a license.
Yes,
yeah.
Media and health something.
Okay.
And his license is 0024 or something. Gave him his jersey's number on his license. He came, he visited the place. I told him I saw him for the first time in Gold's Gym in 99 maybe or 2000, I don't remember. Maybe probably 2000. And we talked about that. It was interesting. He asked me, "What do you think I should be doing?" And I don't know if I gave him the best advice because, again, I didn't say, "Go get." Looking in retrospective, I should have told him, "Put $1 million in Bitcoin." He'd probably be living in Dubai for the rest of his life after that. But I didn't. I said, sign the extension with the Lakers, break all of Jordan's records. You know, I was not wearing my Dubai hat or his friend's hat or whatever. It was just this aggressive fan that wanted all records to be broken.
If Kobe asked you the same question again now, because him and many others do invest in crypto and Bitcoin and things like that, and many blockchain initiatives. And from a commodity point of view, where do you see the future of that, and what sort of plans would you like to bring here?
If someone like Kobe would be asking me what should be focused on, I'd say commodity, agri, coffee, things like that.
Do you think there's room for Bitcoin or others or new commodities that don't exist to kind of
the situation in the UAE is, as far from where I'm standing, we're avoiding to register and license any of the brokers and that because we worry about
regulation.
The regulation is not there. ESCA hasn't come up with anything yet. There has been talk. Central Bank hasn't made it clear on what can and can't be done.
So you know, creating the environment and infrastructure here and keeping things competitive is the best way to kind of future-proof.
And more importantly, predictability. I mean, the big players, even new players, they don't mind the challenges, you know. There was an article about, I think 2 years ago, I believe, or maybe a year and a half ago, talking about why is China attracting more of the big corporations than India. And they said, is it corruption? Is it the infrastructure? And they touched on a few other things. And to all these questions, no, the similar challenges are in China as well. It's the predictability. When you keep changing your policies every other week, nobody's interested. People have to see it through for at least 4 or 5 years. There needs to be some consistency. And I'm very proud to say that Dubai and DMCC has been very consistent with their drive and providing facility. Even when there was a challenge in 2000, towards the end of 2017 and a bit of 2018, we all witnessed Dubai completely go strong and hard on attracting businesses, providing subsidies, lowering cost, and asking the market. Seriously, we had a workshop in Sheikh Mohammed's Palace with some of the top industry leaders and some of the international markets, and they were encouraged to openly say what's needed. So one recommendation came up, one person stood up and said, look, for us to even begin to talk about this, we're going to have to open up Skype, and WhatsApp calls have to open up. These were the types of discussions, and the government is aware that there is a bit of disadvantage and things will have to move forward sooner or later.
Interesting. Fascinating to get that insight and to see how things are progressing. I think that's all we have time for today, but really great chatting to you, and I'm sure we'll have you back on in the future.
Of course.
Thanks, Ahmed. Thank you.
You.